I voted for Ron Paul
Tell us why you voted for Ron Paul.
because I believe in his beliefs. I believe that we need to have a strong military, especially in a military town like Pensacola. I believe that that's what's going to stimulate our economy. That's where all our big towns and cities like Virginia, and Texas, and all these military boys are letting them for 4 years and kicking them out, no jobs, and that's what stimulates most of our country is having a strong military and gives them jobs. They're kicking them out to no jobs, and that's only making our country weaker to the other countries to not have a strong military here in the United States. And then we're not circulating the money.
Why didn't you throw your support behind any of the other candidates like Gingrich or Romney?
Gingrich, I think he's a crook from way back. You can see that on the TV ads, and you can see that he was kicked out of Congress. So, I mean, you know, you don't trust a cheating husband. Once somebody is cheated, they're always going to be a cheater. He didn't cheat on his wife, but he cheated the United States citizens, and that's why we've got the homing crisis that we do, why people don't have their homes.
For you and other voters, what do you think is the most important issue this election season?
To get our country out of the situation, the debt, and get people back to work, and to have a stronger country against everybody else again.
As voters are going to the poll, what do you think are some of the most important issues on their mind as they're making their decisions?
Definitely, the most important is jobs, foreclosures, the economic situations, debt. I think that's number one.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of polls that has Mr. Romney as, probably the leading Republican, candidate, and Santorum is falling behind in a lot of polls. How do you think, if he were to make it, he would match up against the president that we have now?
Actually, if Romney is our candidate, I'm going to vote for him. I'm going to support him, and I think he has very strong areas. And I also think he may be a little more liberal than the other candidates. But I believe that the Conservative Party, the Republican Party, can keep its feet to the fire to try to help change some of the growing debt and those sorts of things that I'm concerned with.
Who did you vote for today?
A Republican. I voted for someone that I feel like is electable. There was a couple of good candidates. I think one was actually smarter than the rest of the pack, but I don't think he's electable. So,
can you share with us which candidate you voted for?
Romney.
Okay. Why Romney? What was it about Romney that made you place your support with him?
Number one, I think he can energize, unite America, lead them forward. I think he's pro-business. I think he's been successful. I think he can help businesses grow, and I think he can help us deal with the tax problems that burden small business and allow them to grow and be successful conducting business.
Okay. Tell me some of the things about the other Republican field that made you a little bit uncomfortable about placing your support behind them.
Well, Newt would have been my other choice. I think he's probably one of the smartest guys in the field, but I think he brings baggage with him that's irreparable, and I think it would have helped elect the other party.
Okay. Were there any other candidates you thought about voting for as well?
No, not really. I don't know that much about the others. Santorum, I can't say his name. I think might make a good running mate for them, but I still need to know more about him.
First of all, Amber, can you share with us who you voted for today?
Sure, I voted for Newt Gingrich.
Okay. Why did you vote for Newt Gingrich?
I felt like he was the most experienced and intellectual voter or candidate there was. I agree with almost everything he says, so he was a clear choice for me.
Were there anything that has come up about his past that has concerned you?
I understand people always have issues in their past, and it is, I can understand why it would be concerning, but I want someone to be president who can handle the position, and I don't think if he's had several marriages that counts to enable him to be a good president. So that's why I know that the issue is there, but it wasn't enough to deter me.
There are several other candidates in this Republican field. What made you decide against throwing your support behind those candidates?
I wasn't sure about Mitt Romney with the supposed flip-flopping on some issues. I didn't want to vote for someone who may flip back. So I just wasn't confident that where he is now is where he's going to be if he was elected president. And with Rick Santorum, I agreed with a lot of his policies too, but I felt that Newt was had a more presidential air, and I think that our president should have that air.
Okay. You talked about Romney flip-flopping on some of those issues. Can you talk about some of those issues and what were your concerns?
His history towards progressive tendencies, I don't agree with that. I watched a recent election where he said that he's matured and he's grown out of it, and that's good and that's fine, but I've just heard a lot more conflicting things about what he actually feels about the issues, so I just didn't feel comfortable.
First, share with us who you voted for today.
I also voted for Newt Gingrich.
Why did you vote for Newt Gingrich?
I felt he had the most experience. He has a track record of doing things that I would agree with. The balanced budgets that he's talked about a lot, I think are good. He was able to bring the Republican majorities to the Congress when he was in leadership back in the 90s. So I think that he's a track record of doing good things.
Okay. How were you able to get past some of the issues that have come up during this election and still be able to support him?
Right. The personal stuff in his past, it is a concern certainly. Certainly not endorsing that, but I think he was upfront about it. He didn't try to to lie about it. He's been very public in showing contrition and trying to move past it. Obviously don't condone those actions, but the way he's handled it, I think shouldn't be held against him in the future.
Why didn't you support any of the other candidates, such as Romney or someone else?
Right. Also, Governor Romney, some of the positions he's taken, position on abortion, flip-flop. He's currently, pro-life, but it's easy to do that during a presidential campaign. When he wasn't running for president, his positions were a little different, and those kind of things. The healthcare, the individual mandate in healthcare that he implemented in Massachusetts, and is sort of the framework for the president's healthcare plan. I didn't like that, and he's now against it, but that's a pretty big gamble to make. So.